warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and hi everyone. We are from Group C. We'll present about our topic climate change in tourism, and I will introduce my group member. I'm Nur Amira. We have Nurul Ain, Huda, Nazim, and also Aiman. Tourism is one of the largest and fastest growing economic sector, and it obviously related to climate change. According to the World Tourism Organization, impact from climate change on tourism include the result of warming trends, cooling trends, and also extreme weather events. On the United Nations World Tourism Organization, UNWTO, after a significant drop in international tourism due to the globalizations, it already has been led by emergency economies, especially in Asia, with growth rate of 8% compared with only 5% for advanced economy in Europe. So, many tourism has deciding to travel internationally are less willing or able to spend the amounts they did before the global financial crisis. Climate change is happening in destinations that are dependent on tourism. Areas that are close to the ocean as well as mountainous area and polar region are especially affected by the impact of climate change in the form of floods and others. As we know, the tourism industry will be the first to suffer when disasters occur, such as venue will become shelter and tourism will come to a standstill in the case of an emergency. Governmental Panel on Climate Change (IPCC) concluded that the observed increase in global average temperature since the mid-20th century is more than 90%, and this result of human activities are increasing greenhouse gas concentration in the atmosphere. So, climate change should be considered to be one of the most important challenges currently facing in the tourism industry.
The global warming is a serious problem now. The impacts and potential solutions will affect different industries in many different ways. The impact of global warming is far greater than just increasing temperatures. Many people don't know much about global warming and feel that it's not a problem. Actually, global warming is the big issue now. It is affecting much industries, especially for tourism industries. Coral and shellfish are suffering as a result. In recent studies have shown that the growth of coral is slowing down. Coral reef died because the sea temperature raised, and it is consequence of the global warming. It will impact a developing tourism industry. When the sea level keep rising, the beach areas will become more narrower. Tourism activities are operators who are rely on the beach area will suffer from with this issue. In addition, sea level rise will cause the land loss issue, which is impact the tourism industry. Hotel or resort operators have not enough land to develop a new hotel or resort in order to receiving more guests. Tourism will probably cease to exist as we know it today. Just consider all that's happening: a global pandemic, international trade wars, natural disasters. The list is expanding almost every day. Still, tourism tends to recuperate after a crisis, but will it survive the most invisible crisis of life? That a climate change expect even more extreme weather conditions. Dangerous sea level rises, extinctions of numerous species, and many complex ecosystem changes that lie ahead of us. Tourism, whether you like it or not, is obviously contributing to these changes. In fact, if tourism continues to grow as we have seen in the past decades, then tourism alone will cost 1.5 to 2 degrees of global warming within the next 50 years. Serious measures need to be taken to better guide tourism before we are too late.
Hi, I am Nazim, and now I'm going to explain any kind of campaign to help the tourism sectors and how we can cope with the climate change. For this example that called Glasgow Declarations for Climate Actions in Tourism, this campaign has been launched in 2021 in Glasgow, Scotland, and involved with many governments from many countries and some tourism businesses in committing to cut emissions by half 2030 and achieve net zero by 2050 at the latest. This campaign has been led by UNWTO and being the tool to bridge the gap between good intentions and meaningful climate action. More than 300 tourism stakeholders has signed up to the declaration. And what is the benefit of this declaration? It is the globally consistent plan for the climate action in tourism as a whole, and they can measure, regenerate, and also unlock the finance. And lastly, it can deliver a concrete plan, updated plan within 12 months. So that is the campaign that could help the tourism industry to stay away from any climate change effect to the world and of course to the tourism at any country. So that is the example of the campaign that we have to cope with climate change against tourism.
Hello guys, my name is Muhammad Aiman Akil, and today I would like to give you a little bit presentation about the 3 interesting places in the world was affected by the climate changes. So the first place is from Borneo, Indonesia. Such a green place, a good place. Oh my god, so cute orangutan enjoying in the nature. And the polar bear is also enjoying their habitats. And the last one is dolphin was very happy enjoying their habitats. But our world has changed. Our challenge are critical. Borneo is an island in the Southeast Asia that brimming with lush tropical jungle which attract wealthy tourism, particularly those interested in catching a glimpse of the elusive Borneo orangutan. Climate change, it seems, may put the nail in the coffin. In 2012, a worldwide federal report assessing the impact of climate changes in the Borneo pointed to high risk of increased risk of floods and forest fires, both of which will further destroy habitats. Not only that, shifting air temperature make it harder for orangutan to access the tree fruits they need to eat and survive. So, the next is from the Alaska Roach Peaks. Rushing rivers and beautiful terrains make for an inspiring tourist destination filled with bear, fish, moose, bison, and other wildlife. Between cruise ship and land entries, nearly 2 million people visited the northern state in 2016. However, it is currently among the most vulnerable destinations in the world to the climate changes. Threats include destroyed coastline, melting ice cap, crumbled roads, and tree growing in areas that used to be tundra. Not only that, the wildlife are suffering too, some at risk of going extinct. Alaska is on the front line of the climate changes and is among the fastest warming regions on Earth. So the Antarctica is one of the tourism destinations where the impact of climate changes is perhaps the most obvious. The air temperature on the southernmost continent, which hosted 50,000 tourists in 2018, has increased by 4.4 degrees, 5 times the estimated rate of global warming, according to the Intergovernmental Panel. So, hopefully we can save our system, need a reset. We love nature, we love the surrounding, we love our world. Please, if we don't protect nature, we cannot protect ourselves.
As for conclusions, due of tourism climate change, we had either direct climate impact or indirect environmental change impact that affects our Earth. But yet, we still can prevent this from getting worse. Local government should implement policy change so that tourism does not become a problem. Towards this end, several tourism destinations worldwide are already taking measures to avoid worse the environmental degradation as well as preserve natural attractions. The impact of climate change on tourism call for reform in the existing policy that relate to the environment. There is a need for local and international cooperation so that the business and individual in the sector will be able to adapt to this change. The tourism industry has to adopt measures so that natural resources are protected. These measures should also contribute to the protection of the global environment.